Good morning. My name is Rebazgar. On behalf of Logistics News Middle East, today we will be tapping into the evolving landscape of construction logistics, supply chain resilience, and industrial growth across the region. Joining me is Joe Labaky, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Group AMANA. Joe, how are you feeling?
Good morning. Feeling very well. Thank you for hosting me today and thank you for visiting our offices.
Of course. So, Joe, you've spent over 2 decades working across the GCC. From your point of view, how has the construction and logistics landscape in the region changed over the years?
Over the 20 years, construction and logistics in the GCC have evolved from oil-driven cyclical growth into more diversified and resilient sectors. Early expansion in the 2000s was fueled by high oil prices and mega real estate projects. But the 2008 financial crisis and 2014 oil crash exposed structural weaknesses. These shocks forced the industry to adopt stronger governance, cost discipline, value engineering, and more sustainable business models. On the logistics side, major disruption from geopolitical crises like the embargo in Qatar, the Red Sea, and the Strait of Hormuz currently, not to forget obviously COVID-19 pandemic, reshaped supply chain, accelerating localization, alternative sourcing, and digitization. At the same time, large mega events like Expo 2020 and the FIFA World Cup in Qatar demonstrated the region delivery and operational capabilities. Today, initiatives such as Saudi Vision 2030 has positioned the GCC in general as a global hub for infrastructure and logistics. The clear shift has been from efficiency-driven model to resilience-driven ecosystem, making construction and logistics central to economic diversification and global competitiveness.
Great. So you've been with Group AMANA for more than 13 years now. What initially drew you to the company and what has kept you motivated as the business has grown?
A great emotional and political question. What initially drew me to Group AMANA was actually my introduction to our chairman, Mr. Shiblib Saibis. He is someone I deeply respect and who has been a real source of inspiration for me. What stood out from the beginning was his clear vision, more importantly, his strong belief in people, developing them, empowering them, and building a culture around them that obviously naturally aligned with my own values. I've always believed that sustainable success comes from how you treat your people, your partners, and your customers. And at Amana, there is a genuine focus on reputation, not just in terms of delivery, but in how the company conducts itself with integrity and respect across all stakeholders. What has kept me motivated over the past 14 years is that Amana is never standing still. It's a company that is constantly evolving, driven by continuous improvement, growth, and positive transformation. Innovation at Group Amana is not just a buzzword. It's embedded in how we think and operate. On a personal level, I'm someone who gets bored quickly if I'm not learning or being challenged. At Amana, I've always found opportunity to grow, take on new challenges, and explore different aspects of the business. It's an environment that encourages curiosity and development. The culture obviously plays a big role. There is a strong sense of care, respect, and humility within the organization, which makes a difference in the day-to-day experience. When I look back at my journey in Amana, from a project manager to now a CEO, it's been a very rich path to continuous learning and development. Each phase brought new challenges and responsibilities, which helped shape my perspective. Today, what excites me even more is that we are working on several advanced strategic initiatives. whether it's around technology, new construction method, or further investing in our people. It feels like we are building the next chapter of Amana, and that's something I'm very motivated to be part of.
That was truly inspiring, Joe. So, as COO, you have overseen operations across the UAE, Saudi, and Qatar. So, what are the biggest challenges of managing projects and teams across multiple markets, and how do you keep operations aligned while staying flexible locally?
Actually, managing operations across multiple markets like the UAE, Saudi, and Qatar, among other GCC countries or countries outside the region, comes with both complexity and obviously opportunity. Each country has its own regulatory environment, client expectations, supply chain dynamics, and talent landscape. So, easy put, there is no one size fits all model, simply doesn't work, doesn't succeed. At Group Amana, we've intentionally structured the business to reflect that reality. Each country operates at their own business unit, led by empowered teams who are closest to the market. They have the autonomy to make decisions, adapt to local conditions, and respond quickly to client needs. This empowerment is critical. It creates accountability, speed, and a strong sense of ownership. At the same time, alignment comes from the group level. We maintain shared services across key functions to drive efficiency and consistency, and we put strong governance in place to ensure we uphold Amana standard, especially regarding our cultures and values. What we are particularly proud of is that while our operating models may flex locally, our culture doesn't. If you visit any Amana project across the markets, you will see the same behaviors. You will see the same behaviors, the same commitment to safety, the same respect in how we treat our clients and partners, and the same mindset in our people. To reinforce this, we actively rotate employees across different business units. This is not only support knowledge transfer and capability building, but more importantly helps embed and spread our culture and values consistently across all markets. So in principle, it's about balancing empowerment with alignment, giving our team the freedom to succeed locally while staying united by a common culture, clear governance, and shared purpose.
That's really interesting. So, logistics and supply chains have been under real pressure in recent year. How has that changed the way Group Amana plans and executes large-scale projects today?
Logistics and supply chain have fundamentally reshaped how we plan and execute projects at Group Amana. Over the past few years, we've had to navigate a series of external shocks, from disruption in the Red Sea to the COVID-19, the evolving tension currently around the Strait of Hormuz, combined with unique demand driven by rapid growth in markets like the UAE and Saudi Arabia. On top of that, the increasing push for local content has added another layer of complexity to procurement strategies. In response, we've taken a very deliberate step to redesign our entire sourcing and procurement operating model. First, we moved away from a transactional conventional approach to a partnership-driven model. Today, we focus on building long-term relationships with key suppliers and partners based on trust, transparency, and shared value creation. It's no longer about negotiating the lower cost. It's about jointly delivering reliability, quality, and certainty to the end customer. Second, we centralize our supply chain function across the group. This gives us much stronger control, better visibility, and allows us to leverage economies of scale across our operations in different markets. At the same time, we remain flexible enough to adapt to local regulations and requirements especially around the local content. Third, whether it makes sense, we've increased our focus on direct sourcing from the origin. This reduces intermediaries, improves quality control, and gives us better predictability on timelines, which absolutely critical in today's environment. Ultimately, all these changes are about one thing: de-risking project delivery. In a world where supply chains are no longer stable or predictable, our role is to bring certainty to our client, and that requires a much more proactive, integrated, and strategic approach to logistics and procurement than ever before.
If you had to summarize it simply, what separates companies that consistently deliver from those that don't?
Basically, what separates companies that consistently deliver from those who don't is quite simple: their mindset and priorities, especially when things get difficult. At Group AMANA, we take a long-term view in everything we do. We don't manage the business for short-term gains. In periods of growth, like what we're seeing in the UAE and Saudi lately, we grow steadily and responsibly, protecting our reputation, maintaining quality, and staying very close to our customers. And in more challenging times, our focus becomes even clearer. We prioritize delivering on our commitment to the highest level of customer satisfaction. If you look at the moment like the COVID pandemic or more recent geopolitical tensions in the region, our direction has remained consistent. Our first priority is always the safety of our people and partners. The second is to deliver on our commitments, no matter the circumstances, while supporting our client and our supply chain ecosystem. At the same time, consistency doesn't mean rigidity. Companies that deliver are the ones that continuously adapt to new technologies, evolving customer needs, and changing regulations, and so on. At Group AMANA, we place strong emphasis on learning and continuous improving. We challenge ourselves to evolve our method, adopt better construction methodologies, and refining how we work so we can keep delivering at high level in a changing environment. Of course, cost and profitability matter, but it's not the primary driver of our decisions. We believe that consistent delivery comes from investing in long-term relationship with our employees, our partners, and our customers. It's about trust, reliability, and doing the right thing, even when it's not the easiest or most immediate profitable option. In short, companies that consistently deliver are those that think beyond the contract, adapt continuously, and act with a long-term sense of responsibility. The focus on people, partnerships, and performance, not just in good times, but especially in challenging ones.
That was really good. So, for my last question, I want to ask you, looking ahead, what major trends do you believe will have the biggest impact on construction logistics and operations in the Middle East over the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, you're asking this question in the most unpredictable situation that the region is going through. Looking ahead, I believe four major trends will significantly reshape construction, logistics, and operation in the Middle East in general over the 5 to 10 years. First, we will see a real transformation of supply chains with a much stronger push toward regionalization and local production. Governments across the region, particularly in markets like Saudi, UAE, Qatar, are already emphasizing local content, and this will only accelerate. For companies like Amana, this means rethinking sourcing strategies, building local ecosystems, and reducing reliance on long global supply chain. Second, Technology will play a much bigger role in how projects are delivered. From digital procurement platform and data-driven planning to automation and AI, technology will improve visibility, predictability, and efficiency across the entire value chain. Companies that embrace this shift, companies that embrace the shift will be able to manage complexity much better and deliver with greater certainty. Third, we will see a continued and growing shift toward off-site and modular construction. Whether partially or fully industrialized, this has a direct impact on logistics as more of the value chain moves into controlled factory environment, reducing site risks, improving quality, and accelerating delivery timelines. It also aligns well with the need for scalability in high growth markets. And finally, sustainability. Sustainability will become a central pillar, not just a consideration. Green construction, carbon reduction, and more efficient use of material will increasingly shape both design and execution. This will also influence supply chains, pushing for greener material, shorter transport routes, and more responsible sourcing. Overall, these trends point to a construction industry that is more industrialized, more digital, more local, and more sustainable. Companies that can anticipate and adapt to this shift while staying close to their customers and partners will be the ones that continue to lead and deliver.
Thank you so much for joining us, Joe. It was a great conversation.